This is Dabu7, an update to the signs in the heavens in the blood moon Tetrad. I have several videos out there. You guys may have seen a couple of them. The links on some of them have been removed for whatever reason. Some of the guys that were putting up charts and information, they left wherever they were at the time, and they brought down all that information. So I'm trying to put out some updated info and charts here. That way you guys have them to reference and go back and find pertaining to this blood moon in this Tetrad, this final blood moon that we're approaching. We not only have the blood moon, and this is a different video I did, Signs in the Heavens, talking about the time frame here with these signs and some of the signs we're going to see here in the years to come. But you can see here we're approaching this partial eclipse coming up in September, followed by the final blood moon. Now, I've shot some footage of these blood moons in the past, and weather permitting, this final one, I look to do the same with it with some better technology, getting some better footage. And this marks a moment in time that, you know, you're not going to see anything like this for some time from here on out. I've done the history on this, the 8 blood moon tetrads since the time of Christ, and everything surrounding Yeshua. In that time, there was not a tetrad specifically right then. But since then, and it's very interesting when you look through history, it speaks for itself. It's every time these tetrads come around, big events are surrounding it, either before, in the middle, or after. You can see a lot of big events happening at the end here, and then kind of shifted gears, and now we're here in this one. Will there be a historic event here at the end of this tetrad is the question, with a lot of eyes towards September of this year. This is exactly when this blood moon's going to go down. The Pope's scheduled to be making a visit to the United States as well. And all of this falling right into the timeline of Operational Concept 2022. I found that very interesting. When looking through this, the whole framework here of what they're planning to do is based on the same concept of Jade Helm with mastering the human domain, but they take it further. They take it all the way out through the year 2021 to the year 2022. And I am supposing that in the year 2022, their new plan is going to be implemented. Everything up till then, they lay out, and Commander Cleveland signed off on all this himself, and he just retired and slipped into the shadows too. But he talks about how they plan to focus in on the urban settings and to take out the ultraviolet extremists or problems within those urban settings, all while mastering the human domain. And that's their plan all the way out through 2021 till 2022. Now, with that said, looking at the signs in the heavens, I mean, it was written. You want to see your signs? Look to the stars in the heavens. And when you do, these tetrads stand out boldly as being markers of specific moments in time. And you can see here with the Jewish calendar and their events, their holidays, they just so happen to fall right on these events every time. And like I said, I'm going to leave a link so you guys can look through the history of all this. But we are coming up on this final partial eclipse, followed by this final blood moon, and we won't see a tetrad like this for a long time. Okay, so this will be the final blood moon in a tetrad for a long while. But along the way, after this tetrad, another key event that will pop off that I covered in a separate video here, titled The Red Dragon of Revelation, is pertaining to the signs in the heavens in September of 2017. Now, everybody's got their theory of a timeline out there. And to me, specifically, I'm not so sure if these events are marked by one day in time. I think it may be a broader window, and these tetrads very well may represent that. But along the way here, after this tetrad, we see this sign in the heavens where the Virgin is crowned with these stars. She's got the sun around her, clothed in the sun. She has the moon at her feet, and she's pregnant. Okay, all of this comes together on one date in September of 2017. And it just so happens that with all those coincidences coming together to paint that picture perfectly, this dragon, this red dragon that was hidden by Google Maps and Google Sky forever, that we ended up uncovering, that dragon sitting right between the legs, right next to Jupiter during this. So talk about an ominous sign. And that's to come in 2017, in a time where some people say that's mid-tribulation. You also have in question Nibiru, or this other dwarf object coming in through Leo that they're speculating as well. And of course, all the secrets out there. You got to keep digging and watch the signs. And like I said, this what some call mid-tribulation, and going off of this, looking at the blood moon tetrad as being a marker in time. I mean, do you start from the beginning? Do you start from the middle? The middle was a very interesting time because that's when all these events went down in France and everything else. I covered all that in a different video too. But things really got set in motion right dead center of this whole tetrad and have continued since then. So, the whole tetrad, as a whole could mark the beginning of something. This whole year. And really, we've got 2 more months here before we hit that blood moon. Anything can happen between now and then. And as you can see, things to come here in the future. But I'm going to leave a link so you guys can reference all this stuff, and you guys can go back and look at the history yourself of all these key events that have happened during the tetrads. It's been Dabu7. Eyes to the skies.